Good morning, everyone. Because of some technical issues, I'm not able to hear on one system, but I have to switch on the other one to listen. So if there is an echo, please bear with me. So today's webinar is very, very close to my heart, and I would say this is the nectar of my life's work. And let's just start with this. So this webinar says the path to the purposeful parenthood. What does this mean? Right? Everybody wants to be a purposeful parent, and nowadays there is so much which is coming up when we use the word parenting, and everybody starts preparing when they come to know that they are going to be parents. But is there something more to that, or that's it? So let's begin today. So before we go ahead, I just want to know in the chat that how would you consider your journey if you have been in this journey, or are you planning for this journey? Can you please type in your chat box that what is your journey was like, and how would you say that journey, and how would you say somebody if somebody comes to you for your advice? Okay. So first of all, I would really like to thank you for trusting me to spend your time with me, because the biggest currency nowadays is the time. And when somebody is giving you time, they are giving you the precious thing. And I'm so grateful for this. Begin our journey with, let's say, where the birth rates are today. And if we are talking about the birth per second, 4.3 to 259 births, whereas in hour it goes to 15,512, and in year we are welcoming 140 million babies. So would you like to do this by chance or by choice? We write in a chat box, but let's see what we mean the choice and by plan. Whenever we are going for a small trip, 1 day trip, or let's suppose we have an upcoming event and plan before ahead. But when it comes down to bringing the new life, do we consider a planning? This is a whole life which we don't know is going to spend 80 years or 100 years on this planet. So when we talk about this, so we always, like in the beginning, I just want to say, like when I use the word conscious conception, what does that mean? Conscious conception is the art of creating life with the intention, nurturing not only a physical health, but also emotional, mental, and spiritual well-being. And it's embracing the holistic approach that empowers the individual and couples to embark the journey. So this is what we're going to talk about in this webinar today. In this presentation, first we'll look about what is conscious conception, though I gave you a little bit of definition about that, but still, like understanding from a different perspective. Then I'll be talking about my journey, that why I want to work on this, why I want to help more and more couples with it. And then I want to share my opinion on this. And then we'll talk about preparing for the parenthood. Then what are the multi-dimensional layers when we talk about the conscious conception? Then we talk about the fertility awareness timing, and then we'll summarize this. But I just want to say that this is so close to my heart, and I'm bringing a very beautiful workshop, and I would be talking about that. And please just bear me there also. And definitely at the end, we'll be talking about this question answer about this session. So first, let's talk about, like we talked about pregnancy by choice and pregnancy by chance. So you can see nowadays these things are not visible where you see a lot of wires around the TV because the things are different now. But earlier, the things were not planned for the TV. The houses were not planned for the TV. Sometime, like years back, it was like a elite thing to have all these things built up because TV was not in everyone's house. And nowadays, it's a part of necessity. And even the builders are taking in account that your house looks beautiful and there is no mismatch around your house. So what they do in the building, they just create certain kind of pattern where you just need to plug in the wire, and even you cannot see the wire also because it's just going down to the plug which is behind your TV. So here with the pictures, I want to emphasize that this is what the unplanned look and this is what the planned look like. And when we talk about the pregnancy, taking the nutrition, folic acid, iron, calcium, nowadays this is considered as, yes, we are planning for the baby. But is this enough, or we need something more? And can we say planned pregnancy to be a conscious pregnancy? So let's see how the conscious conception and a pregnancy looks like. This is a multi-layer fold. This phase is the most important phase of one's life because the quality of the parents' choices is going to directly affect the quality of baby's whole life. And we'll be talking about these multidimensional layers in the upcoming slides. But I just want to give it to view that the conscious is different from planned. Conscious is putting that lens between the paper and the sun rays where the focus is more and the energy penetrates in a laser focused manner. So what are the benefits of conscious conception? So it helps the mother to tune into the body, or the couple to tune in the body of the natural rhythm. It increases the fertility and it connects, or it creates a deeper connection with your partner and the baby. This is what is when you all are involved in the process. And here I would like to talk about that why I am so passionate about this. What is there in my life which is taking me towards this? So, as a medical student, I started with a conventional practice where you take a history, you talk about the symptoms, and you just work on them. The more I keep on listening to people, I started understanding there is a lot of emotional and mental component to their health. It's not about the physical health only. I started working on that and saw the significant difference in my outcomes. And then a day came when the kids started coming to me with bearing a weight of heavy medication, and kids are very close to my heart. And I was like, no, I have to do something. I started working on them. And then, with extensive research and help of my students and my colleagues, we developed a product named as Elixir Junior. So it was once in a month product, and it gave a significant result in their health. But that was a time when I decided that I need to change my approach and I have to go deep down to this, that what is the things we can do that kids have not to go through this process? Are there certain preventive measures? And then I came deeper to the studies of Garbhasanskar. This is again a term used in Ayurveda, but this is a study which talks about the various changes in the pregnancy, that how in every month the mother needs are different, the kids needs are different, and how they are being matched, and how with the simple routine and regimen, adding certain things, you can enhance the health. And I thought maybe I found my purpose. But life had more lessons for me to learn. And I got married, and in first 3 months, I experienced the spontaneous abortion. And that was really painful for me. But I thought maybe I need to slow down my things, and maybe, like, I'm working too much. So I did that, and weeks went by, months went by, but there was no luck with the conception. And I remember, like, after 2 years, I thought that something is going on. And being an analytical thinker, I always try to look for the roots, like, why this is happening. And being a medical person, like, your knowledge is like a two-sided sword where you cannot help but you cut yourself in the process. And that was the time I went for all the available investigation, that what's going wrong, what is happening to me. And to my surprise, there were certain hormones which were there to fluctuate. And in this process, I have to go through certain process, which was really painful. But when the most of, like, the 90% of the reports were normal, and the pain of the test was also there. So I had another thought that, am I overreacting to the situation or what's going on? But those hormone tests, looking onto that, again took me to, like, why this hormone fluctuation is there in my body, what is happening. Though, with the help of my teachers and my colleague, I started working on those hormones, but that was not the answer to my question. And then I found out that physical elements are the one thing, but the masculine and the feminine energy in oneself has a huge impact. Feminine energy has certain characters and masculine has certain. It doesn't matter like what body you bear, but what is your lifestyle, how you work, how you approach the things. That also is dominated by one of these energy. And that was the time I focused on that and started working on that aspect too. And with a lot of efforts, I got the good news that I'm pregnant. And just in the 6th week, the doctor again told me that we have to go for the medical termination because baby's not having the heartbeat. And it really shook me to the core. It was not easy on me, right? And I was like, I'm doing everything which is required to do, and what's happening, right? And I still remember the day when that procedure was done. It was 31st of October, and there was the celebration of Halloween in the air. But deep down in my heart, I was really sad because it was a big loss for me. Though I had an angelic presence in my life, which helped me through the hospital work, because that time I was alone. My husband was in India for the family emergency, and I consider that time to be the weakest point of my life. Like in your home, you're all alone, and the the hangover of the anesthesia come down, and your body is not in a position to move, and there is no one around you, and you can't even take a painkiller because water is far, right? But like, you know you always consider yourself to be the strong, and I was like, okay, I have to counter my feelings, and I collected myself, and I was like, I need to go more deep. This is not enough. So there are other folds to that. And again, I started working on the things step by step, like, let's start the things from the scratch and work one step at a time, but with the full awareness, consciousness, and adding on more factors. I'm a person of faith. I believe there is a reason for everything. So I started working on this thing, and I got my detoxification done and all the things at different level, not at physical level, but other levels also. And with the grace of God, I came to know, like, in next 3 months, I was pregnant again. And before the year end, like before 31st of October, this little brute was in my hand, who was healthy, happy child. And I'm so grateful to God for this. And this journey of mine bring me to a position where I need to think about this, that I'm a trained medical professional. And whenever we talk around, we always talk about the physical health. And when your diagnostics show certain kind of changes, you think you have a hope that, okay, we can work on this and we can come to certain kind of conclusion, and we can bring to the results or the outcomes, right? Or like, we have the hope for the future. But when the pathology is unknown, when the reasons are not known, there is a different kind of a sadness. And when you go and talk about this, people don't have much answers to that. And above that, people have their own opinions, their own judgment, right? And even I was not being spared, like, when the time come when people, like, see you from the different glasses and they just don't want to see you as a human being, right? So in my journey, I learned that along with the physical health, this whole process is also includes the fears, the insecurities. There are certain patterns, and if you go deep down, where unknown factors are involved, there are a lot of ancestral energies involved. And when I take into this work, I look onto all these different layers. I want to share, if we do not address this, what's coming up? The relationship with your spouse is strained. The stress is prolonged. And stress, I know, like, when I used to talk to my friends, so they used to say, I don't know, you're stressed. And I was like, no, 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 I'm not stressed. I'm just being focused to have a baby. And they were like, no, 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 no. This is stress. And trust me, now I can differentiate that to the thinnest layer of the onion peel. Like, there is a slight layer on onion peel. That that is what now I'm aware of when it comes down to stress. And definitely delaying your action is going to hinder the fertility journey of yours. And if you incorporate the various things, the aspect in your life, you are not only empowering yourself, like if you're planning, but you're conscious, right? You know where to stop and where to take action. This is so important because delaying is not delaying the journey of fertility, but it could strain your health, it could strain your relationship, it could bring certain mental pattern, which again will going to block your journey. So this is so important to work on this in the beginning. And once we address these issues, we allow ourselves to heal, to bring that emotional space in the various dimensions, which allow us to move with the confidence and the strength comes to move on to this journey. And very, very important thing. This is not only on females. This is not the female partner who has to do all the work. And we'll talk about this. The husband and wife has to be fully, completely committed to this process, and that too in a whole 9 months and in the whole journey. And now let's talk about, like, when we are preparing for the parenthood, what are the things we need to take in grand? First and foremost is an emotional and psychological preparedness. Like, what is your emotional state? It has a direct impact on your body, right? It's been seen that if you're not happy, you don't feel like eating. If you're not happy, you don't want to see your favorite show. If you're not happy, you just want to sleep because you don't want to meet people. So do you understand these emotion, happy, sadness, these play a huge role. And I have seen, like, because of the emotional fears, people keep on delaying this journey of parenthood, that they're scared inside. So when you're consciously planning, so all these emotions can fall into the right place and help you to move forward and not holding yourself for the joy of your life. And the role of communication and shared value is so important. The couple has to communicate about their emotions, their shared value, what they want to see in that kid, right? It's not talking. I consider this as a part of law of attraction, because when you're thinking about something, you're talking about something, you're reading about something, you are creating that energy around you, and you're inviting those energies to come down and to get manifested in the future. But when it comes down to couple, there are so many grounds they need to communicate and come to a ground where they have the common or some of the common points which they want in their parenting. And this is very important. This journey sometimes can be really painful because we do not know what other person is going through in this journey. And I have seen even the friends and family do not hesitate to ask the question which can press the red button in you. So when we create that supportive environment for the couple, this is just the best gift which you can give before the baby shower. This is this is like creating that safe environment where they are able to share what kind of insecurities and fears they have so that they can work on that, they can get solution to that, right? So this is really important to have a supportive environment. But along with this, there are so many steps we can take if we are not in the supportive environment. And with this, I would like to share what are these multidimensional layers which contribute to the conscious conception. Number one definitely is the physical health. And when we talk about the physical health, your eating style, your activities of the day, how many hours you sleep in a day, and what is the quality of all of the three. This is very important. Adding to the nutrition is a plus point, but remember a 500 mg can make a difference, but what you are taking in grams is much more important than what you are taking in a milligram. So these points are very important. And this has been said in number of research that when it comes down to a menstruation, body detoxify itself. And the similar thing happens when the pregnancy happens. So this is so important that before we are going into this, we need to have that physical detoxification because we are in an environment where we are exposed to chemicals on a daily basis, either through the utensils we are using or through the air we are breathing. And the food we are having, the chemicals we are using on our body. So for the healthy baby, this is so important to get the detoxification done. This is what is going to contribute to the real nutrition, because whatever is the nutrition and the lifestyle of the parents, that is going to directly impact the kid and its whole life. When we are talking about the research, here I want to say that there are a number of research, and below is the link for this research, that this has been seen that if the maternal BMI rate is higher, that affects the offspring's life by adding on to the lifestyle syndrome in the later stages of life. And pregnancy is always, conception was always been overburdened on the women's, but this has been very clear with the researchers that the paternal overnutrition or the BMI of the father is going to impact a lot of the thing. And this is the research given, and the research has shown that if the parents' BMR is not up to the mark, if they have certain kind of the physical issues, they are going to be transferred to the future generation. And this is really important. When we talk from the Ayurveda perspective, so I just wanted to give a little highlight that what do you see in the workshop, upcoming workshop, that we talk about in Ayurveda, we talk about various body types. And when we are talking about the various element dominance in various type, it do affect the quality of sperm and ovum. And there is no simple formula for everyone to get the best of what they want. And how diet impacts. So this is simple example. If somebody is taking more of a sweets in their diet, so the possibility of the sperm goes more to the sluggish. They're going to find the sluggish sperm in the reports. If the sour intake is more, so that reduce the lifespan of the sperm. Salt intake decreases the viscosity of the semen, and that's how it had hard time to reach to where it leads to conception. And similarly, the pungent, bitter, and astringent, they also have the impact on the sperm. And when we are talking of the impact, here we are highlighting that how it's going to impact the quality of the seed of that person. And we have talked about the physical detoxification, but we need to take in grant that emotional health is very important, and so is the emotional detoxification. And there are a number of ways we can work to heal the emotional health of the couple. But this is something you have to consider. The folic acid might be really good when it comes down to the development of the nervous system, but emotional health is what the baby is going to behave. Will he or she be a happy baby? Or you need to, like, keep on giving some kind of a temptation for the baby to be happy, right? So the emotional health is really, really important. And so is the mental health. And usually the question is being asked, like, isn't emotion and the mental health the same? My perspective, it's not. Emotion is the feeling, and the mental is more about the thought. The thought you generate is a causative factor, whereas the feeling you feel, the feelings you experience, is the effect of that. So they are linked, but they are two separate entities. If you have any kind of a settled pattern in your body, right, in your thought that you react to certain situations in a similar way, it's not the emotional body, it's the mental body, because emotions fluctuate. But the thing which does not fluctuate, and if not taken with the awareness, it makes a place that is more seen in the mental body than in the emotional body. And here I would like to invite you to a small experiment or a small session in between. And if you can close your eyes, so this will help you to have the better experience. Just take a deep breath. Rub fingers of your right hand with the fingers of your left hand, and do this with such an intention that you are able to feel the ridges on your fingers. Slowly, gently, and feeling the ridges. Now slowly rub your hands together to feel the ridges and bumps on your hand. If you can hear the sound either inside your head or outside in the environment, just listen to that. And now just try to hear the closest sound. And if you haven't heard the sound of your breathing, listen to that. Bring the right hand over to your abdomen, your tummy, and feel the rise and fall of your breath. That how it's moving along with your breath. Here, I would like to invite you to have one thought about your future baby if you're planning the baby, and a thought about your niece, nephew, or the grandchild. What do you want that baby to be like? A happy baby or a joyful baby or a sportsman? Just make a single thought on that. And if you have done that and you are back in your space, slowly open your eyes. With this, I want to share that the thing we worked on right now is the emotional body, because a lot of the time, I would say the 95% of the time, the chat is within our head, it's not outside. And that's how you differentiate it. And once you keep on repeating the thing on a regular basis, you are shifting the thought from your emotional body to mental body, which is much more permanent, much more impactful. There are a number of studies on stress, anxiety, the neural behavior development when the mother is in stress. And here I want to say the partner, the father has to contribute to make that space safe for the mother, to help mother to release that stress so that she can provide an optimal environment for the new baby. And this is giving to a point where the relational dynamics come when you talk, when the spouses are talking about the baby, when they are planning this, they share their thoughts, they're planning. And this is not just the planning, they are making a deeper connections to themselves and deeper connection to the upcoming soul. This is said that far before soul comes down to take a birth, it is manifested at different level. And with this, you are invoking the soul which is coming to your family at different levels. So the relationship dynamic between the couple is really, really important. And now we almost to the last part, that what are the things we need to take about when we are aware about the fertility, and what can bring more awareness when it comes down to the timing. So, understanding your menstrual cycle is the heart of conscious conception. When you know what is the rhythm of your body, and you know what are the body signals and pattern towards that, that help you to have the conscious decisions. It not only identify the fertile or the non-fertile phase, but it helps you to in tune to your body. When we talk about the physical parameters, the ovulation can be tracked easily. And these are the points: the body temperature, ovulation pain, cervical mucus, and then with the help of kit, now this is easier than earlier days, and then taking record of the period dates. When we talk about the body temperature, this has been said that there is always 1 degree raise in temperature on ovulation days. And there is a specific way how you do the body temperature. There's a specific timing to that. It's not about, you can do it any time of the day. This is very, very specific way of doing this. Then comes the ovulation pain. Whatever side of the ovary is ovulating the ovum in that month, you feel a slight pain in that. And this is an indication that the ovulation has been done, and this is the fertile period where there are more probabilities of conception. And next is the cervical mucus. And in this slide, we just try to show, like, how the mucus is like different in different phases, and how this is like stretchy, it's a little bit thick when it comes down to the fertile phase. And we talk about this in detail when we come in workshop. Nowadays, there are a lot of ovulation kits available, and there are a lot of ways to track the ovulation. And if you're keeping a track of this, in 3 months, you have a clear picture that what is the time of ovulation. When we see the standard thing, they always say is like, the middle of the cycle is 2 days. And in irregular periods, we won't be able to measure it. But uh, depending upon the dominance of element in the body, there are plus and minus to in between the days, which I have experienced in my practice. So this is a really smart way that you should keep a track of ovulation with the help of the kit and note it down. So here is a chart where, like, all of these things are mentioned, and I'll provide you this in the chat, and you can download it there, and we can send this to you along with the recording. You will say, like, there are so many apps available. Why should I be recording from the hand? Why this is so important to do it with the hand, and what's it's going to make a difference? I'm so busy. I would say, I totally get it. This is a busy word, and you can be busy, but I think your routine is following the priorities in your life. And there are so many things which I can say, I can talk on this, like how the writing on paper is so, so, so important to make the things happen. Like, it make you aware at various levels. Writing is not a small thing. It has a deep connection deep down in your brain. You don't need to remember or look onto app, when was my cycle, when was this, and it helps you to remember the things. It has a different impact at different levels. So I would encourage you to have the things penned down rather than just doing it on app or something. It is more awareness. Like app for me is like a credit card. You keep on spending, but it's difficult to track. Whereas writing on a paper is like having a cash in your purse and using it. Like every penny you spend, you know how much is left, right? So it's the level of awareness. And here we are talking of the level of awareness and consciousness in your life in this particular. And above all, this chart going to tell when ovum is not ready for anything, and whatever is going to happen, it's going to revert back. At the same time, it's going to tell when the ovum is ready and is in a welcoming form. So I would like to encourage you to have more of the things in writing than just doing it on the soft copies. And again, I would like to take an opportunity to say that preconception time is the best investment. This is the best gift you can give to your newborn. The more you invest on yourself, the more you upgrade on yourself, it is going to impact directly on your kid, right? And the other way I say it, like if you want a really smart, happy, intelligent kid, it's like Apple iPhone 15, but you also need to upgrade to get a right access to that software. But if you're behaving like a Nokia 11, your body is Nokia 11, it's not going to manifest to iPhone 15. So this is the right time to invest in yourself and in your baby. Because the quality of the seeds is going to make a difference, right? The farmer knows the importance of the seed. He tests the seed at all the levels before he go ahead, right? But we as a human take so many things for granted. So I want to emphasize again that the quality of your seeds, the quality of sperm and ovum is going to make a difference. And last, but the very, very important thing, what matters the most is the quality of the seed, not the quantity of the seed. I know there are a lot of things which people have in their mind while they're on this journey, but the quality of the seed is the most important factor. And with this, I would like to conclude by saying that we need to embrace the multidimensional layer of the health to have that happy, wholesome baby. This is the time when you are really working to the core and not to the superficial aspect. This is not a decoration piece. This is not a time when we say that men are from Mars and women are for the Venus. Like this is a time when they both have to come down together to take the steps which is required for their generation, the families, and the legacy to follow them. So please be conscious, little more ahead than planning. And with this, I would like to say that we are coming up with the workshop, which is 3 hours, which will be very much more to this. And this is on 12th of October. This is for 3 hours. And this is the evening time. This is in Pacific Standard Zone. This is 5 to 8 p.m. And usually the investment for this is $97. But for you people and the people who are registering with this QR code by mid of Monday. So they're going to get a special offer for $47, which is way better than having a dinner, people for a dinner outside. It is better than going for a movie for two. And what I can say about this, but I just want to say that if you really want to invest in your kid and that time, so and if you are in that journey or you know somebody who is in this journey and they can take benefit of this, feel free to share this. And this is limited, as I said, this code you can use, and this is till the Monday midnight. With this, I would like to thank you everyone for your time and spending your time with me. And if you have any question and answer, I would love to have them now. And before that, I just want to say that coming Saturday, we are going to the farmers market, which is here locally in Vineyard Farmers Market. This is where the fresh food is available. There we are going, and there we'll be talking about the seasonal fruit and vegetables, and we'll be talking more about, like, what season what vegetable goes in. So if you would love to come, this is all free. You would just need to register for this so that we can share the information with you. And with this, I'll take a full stop and come back to the question answer session.
Dr. Katosh, what an exciting two announcements you made, and what a very meaningful, heartfelt, and helpful workshop this was for everyone present. You've had some comments along the way of people taking some of the words and concepts and amplifying them in the chat. So we're very excited about that. I'm very excited about your shopping event. I can't hardly imagine you're able to do that and offer it free. And of course, people need to bring a pocket full of money, because when they go to the farmer's market, they're going to want to buy some wholesome and delicious foods. But that's going to be fun. And I imagine there'll be an opportunity to do some tasting along the way. I've been to the vineyard. What a great choice. And then I also want to amplify this seminar, this workshop that you're doing. I will tell you, I took my wife out for lunch at a cheap sandwich shop this week, and I spent almost $47. And what a sticker shock I had. But to invest that small amount of money that people throw away without even thinking about it in such a lifetime benefit as you're offering, that is an amazing thing. So you have at least one person that's planning to be with you Saturday. Now, I'm ready for you to type your questions. Maybe Dr. Katosh has already answered all of them. Someone has said by choice and by chance, and absolutely agree. That is true. Please share the recording. That'll be done. We had some technical, it was coming on and off, and hopefully we ended up doubling it up. So we will be able to patch together the recording and get that out to you. When will that be coming, Dr. Katosh? The recording, when will that be available?
I think it will be available in next 2 to 3 days.
Okay, excellent. Excellent. I forgot you were having some hearing problems there. Are there any other questions that you would like to have us pass on to Dr. Aruna Katosh? Let me just say I appreciate the fact that you shared some footnotes with us, that so much of what you shared. Go ahead. Would you like to voice your question and unmute yourself, or was that a mistake? Would anybody prefer to ask their question out loud? Feel free to unmute yourself and be recognized. Well, I think that's a wrap up. Dr. Aruna, what a beautiful presentation. What a helpful presentation.
Thank you so much. And I really apologize for the technical difficulty. Even I don't know what happened today. And if there is no questions, then thank you, everyone. Enjoy a happy weekend. And